Hi everyone, it's Brenda Quintana here. I wanted to share how I made my May thank you cards, and these are going out in the mail very soon to my customers. And I wanted to also give a shout out to Robin Armbrush. This is a card that I saw on her website, and I think I've adapted a little bit from her original card, and I really love the way it turned out. We did this card during our team meeting, and sorry, not our team meeting, it was team stamping night. And I got some feedback from my team too on how to make the card better. So I wanted to share with you this is kind of a sampling of all the cards I made. There were, I think, 6 different designs because I used this paper here. It's called Florals in Bloom. It's one of our new papers in the annual catalog, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. I'll show you in a minute when I can have this lying down. But the cool thing about this card, it has a belly band. You slide it off, and then when you open it up, it has this really cool fold. Robin calls this a mirror card. I'm calling it a mirror fold. So it's really cool. She originally made her cards with cardstock instead of designer series paper. This one, I really like the way it turned out. I'm also going to show you a cool way to do the diagonal scores. That's a little different than the way that she showed, and I think it will save a lot of time because I had to make 50 of these, and when I make 50 cards I learn how to do things quicker and better. So I'm going to show you how I made these. And for my customers that ordered from me in May, and you'll be getting a copy of this card, in with your card that I'm going to be mailing you, I'm going to send you a link to a project sheet. Now this project sheet is only for my customers who ordered from me in May. If you are ordering from me in June or beyond, you can request it per special request if you order from me. I'm not going to have this one is not going to be a PDF that I'm going to sell, but if you've seen this video and you would like this PDF instead of choosing one of my other tutorials, you are welcome to request it and I will send it to you. Also, if you're a team member of mine, you also get all my paid tutorials for free, so you can absolutely request this. In fact, I'll probably just send it right out to my team so they can grab it from a separate email. But yes, so this is just a special PDF thank you to my customers and team. But during this video, I will explain how to make this card. So if you want to make this card, you can absolutely positively make this card from my instructions right now. It's just nicer to have the PDF, obviously, but I want to reward my customers and my team. All right, I'm going to switch to my down-facing camera. I will have all the supplies that I'm using will be in my video below, so if you're looking for anything, look down below, and if you can't find it, let me know and I will be happy to answer your email and let you know how to do it. We are going to be making 2 cards at the same time because you can make 2 cards out of one sheet of 12 by 12, and you will need 12 by 12 if you're making this card my way. And it will use up the entire sheet. So that's the cool thing about this. This is like a no waste card because you can make it out of one sheet, 2 cards out of one sheet of designer series paper. All right, I'm going to switch to my camera. All right, so let's just take a look at this beautiful, beautiful paper. Each page has a floral pattern and then it's got a neutral side. So I did the front of the card, the fold, the biggest portion out of the floral, and then I used the reverse to create my belly band. So this has all beautiful patterns, and for the most part, I just reversed whatever paper I used on the front. I just used the one on the back. There was one exception where I switched the belly bands around. They looked a little bit better the other way. So just gorgeous, gorgeous paper. Yes, and then I have this one right here. So let's go ahead and make this card. Oh, and here are my cards. Let me shove this aside here for a second. Just show you the cards. This one here, and then this one, this one. This one we're going to be making today. Whoops, belly band slipped a little bit. Here's this one, and then finally this one. So really, I made it out of all of the patterns of the paper. So I will also post a photo of all 6 cards, so you can see how I did each card and what base colors I used for each of these. Okay. Let's get started. I've got my designer series paper and I've got my trimmer. I kind of wanted to show you how I cut up this piece. The easiest way, I think, is to cut the belly bands first. So this is the belly band side right here, but we're going to be cutting it looking like this. I'm going to have my pattern facing sideways for the cutting purposes because I want this strip right here to be facing up later on. So if you have a definite up and down pattern when you're cutting, turn it to the side first. I'm going to line this up with my 1-inch mark, and we're starting off with a 12 by 12 piece. You can't see my little cutting blade, but it's going to come up to the top right here. So the first thing we're cutting is the belly band. So this is a 12 by 1-inch piece, and we're going to do another belly band right away. I find that this is easier to do like this, and then we're going to cut this way. Okay, so we've got 2 pieces of 12 by 1, and so now we have a 10 by 12-inch piece left over. So we're just going to keep sliding it up. We're going to find the 5-inch mark, and now we're going to cut this into 2 5 by 12-inch pieces. I'm going to switch to my Simply Scored because I love it, and you can score on your trimmer, but it is not as easy and as fun. So let's just, the belly bands, we'll just set those aside for a moment. And we're going to start off with one piece first. Grab our scoring tool. Remember, this is designer series paper, so you're going to want to use the big ball of your stylus tool so you don't poke through with the small ball. And we're simply going to score this at the 4-inch mark and the 8-inch mark. Okay, we'll do that same thing with the other one. Score at 4 and score at 8. Okay, remember, we're building 2 cards at the same time. Let's bring in our piece right here. We're going to fold this piece. So this one, starting from the left, we're going to fold this into, let me make sure I'm doing this right before I tell you. Okay, this first one is going to get folded into a mountain fold, okay? A mountain fold first, and then the next fold over is a valley fold. Okay, so you want it to look like this, and you want this to be the direction of, this is going to be the front right here, and this is going to be the inside right here. So mountain and then valley. And we'll do the same thing for the other piece. We're going to fold a mountain first, and then we're going to fold a valley. Okay, next thing we're going to do, I'm going to take this first piece, and I'm going to, on the mountain, this mountain, I'm going to make a mark 1 3/4 of an inch from the top. So you can do that in one of 2 ways. I was making a lot of these cards, so I'm going to show you how I started off. I started off just by taking my ruler, finding the 1 3/4 inch mark, and then just making a mark right on the fold like that. Okay. So after a while, I was like, you know, sometimes when your brain wanders and you're doing 50 of these, you can get like, your brain can get messed up and do a wrong measurement. So instead, I cut myself a little square on my trimmer that was 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. And so what I did then was I just would line it right up on the fold, and then I would make my mark. So that's how I did it going forward. And then, so on this one, when we go to do this, we are going to score from this mark to here. And then on this one, we're going to score from this mark that we're going to make to here. So I'm going to take, I've already marked this on the front side. This one I'm going to mark on the back side, and I'm going to go 1 3/4 up right here. Okay. So the mountain fold gets marked 1 3/4 from the top, and then this one gets 1 3/4 from the bottom, but I'm doing it on the back side. So I want to just show you how then that really helps me out. I'm going to bring in my scoring board. Okay. And I've got just this part, just the first fold is folded, and then this one is not folded over. I've got my mark right here. I'm going to, my pencil mark, I have darkened the 6-inch score groove of my Simply Scored with a Sharpie. I darkened it, and then I let it dry for 5 minutes. Then I tested it with a piece of scrap computer paper to make sure it was really dry. When it was really dry, then I know now this is dry, and now I can use this to center my line. Okay, so when I saw Robin do this, she did it on her trimmer, and she lined up this and then this. We're going to score both top score lines at one go. So the way you're going to do this, the pencil line, want to have it up at the top because you want to start up at the top. And then this corner right here where this pattern meets the other pattern is going to be right down here on the score line. Let me move this up just a bit so you can hopefully see that. So I've got my pencil mark right here, and then this corner right down here. We're going to take our scoring tool and we're going to just score all the way down. So now, I don't know if you can see that, I've got a bit of a diagram here. Okay, so that's what it looks like. This, if you're one of my customers, this diagram will also be in your project sheet. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And then we're going to do the other one down from the bottom. So now this fold, we're going to leave that one fold open, and we're going to fold right here. This one's not folded. We're going to find that pencil mark. Again, I like to come down from the top because it just makes more sense to come down from the fold than to kind of come up here where this might be loose a little bit. Coming down from the fold means that everything will kind of push flat as it comes down. So line up that pencil mark, and then this area right here where the designer series papers, the different sides meet, and then you're just going to come down like that. I'm standing up when I do this because it helps me visually see things. All right, so now what we're going to do, we've already folded this way. Now we have to fold these score lines. So I'm just going to gently find that fold, that first fold, and we're going to do that first fold gets folded back. On both of these diagonal score lines, it's going to get folded back, okay? And then we're going to close this card, and we're going to use our bone folder and smooth down that fold. So that one is done. This one we're going to do the opposite. We're going to fold it forward. So I'm just kind of getting it started just to make sure you're actually going along the score line. Sometimes the paper wants to do funny things, so you want to make sure you've got it on the score lines. Okay, once you got that flat, then we're going to fold it like this. And we're going to fold with our bone folder and just help smooth down that fold. Okay, so you have made the main part of this card. Now we need to glue this to a card base, and that's over here. So when I was choosing my card base, it needs to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, normally our card fronts are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This one's 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. So this right now is just a flat base. If you wanted to, you could have a card that opens here, but what I would do is just put a piece of white on the back, and that's where you would write your message. So I would just go a little bit smaller for the back if I wanted to put something on there. Since this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, I would do probably a 4 by 5 inch piece of basic white on the back for writing on. So we've got our piece, and it's going to sit right here, so we have like a frame all the way around the edge. So then flip this over right here, and we're just going to put glue in this area, not in this area, because otherwise you're going to glue your card shut. I like to outline the area that's glued, and I like to leave a little bit of a perimeter so when the glue gets squished, it doesn't ooze out onto here. Okay, so glue in this section, not in this section. Then we're going to turn this around, and while it's folded, we're going to come down. If you can stand up, this is easier, or get right over top of it with your head, and you're just going to center that on here. Oop, I shifted. That's why glue is good. Okay, give it a little press. Okay, so this also is going to help your card stand up. Without this, it would fall over. Before we go any further, let's do this one more time so that you can see this in action. I've got my little 1 3/4 inch square. This is my first score line going from left to right. And I'm going to put my little square on here. And we're just going to make a little mark right there. And then I'm going to go to the back side. And we're going to do a little mark over here. Okay, let's bring in our scoring tool again, so I can show you. You get really fast at doing this after a while. Remember, we're just going to score through 2 layers. That 3rd layer is going to hang out. Pencil mark, and then if this is at all crooked, don't worry, it will still work out. Got pencil mark, and that's where the designer series paper comes together. And we're just going to score down like that. So we've got our fold coming in like this. Then on this fold, we're going to close this. The front part's going to hang out. We're only scoring through 2 layers. Okay, this time I have the mark on this side. So just wherever you have the pencil mark, I like to have it up at the top. And then we're just lining this up to this corner intersection here, and then we're going to come down and score that. This way you're doing both of the angles at the same time. It's so much easier than trying to line it up on the trimmer. Trust me. Okay, again, this one we fold back. So this is this is going to be the front. So that first one, I want it to fold back, and so just kind of get it going. Make sure you have the right area that you're folding, and then we're just going to smooth that down. And then this one gets folded forward. Once that looks good, we're going to close this and do that. Okay, we've got one more piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, right? We're gonna take this glue and go around the edge, no glue down here, and then take this over and flip it. So you can really see after a while, if you want to make a lot of these, you're going to have a bit of a pattern and it's going to get quicker. All right, one thing I forgot to do is I needed to cut myself a couple of pieces of basic white. So let me show you how to do that. I've got a piece of basic white right here. And let's bring our trimmer back in. And this time we're going to cut this piece. I'm cutting on the long side here. I'm going to cut to 4 3/4 the length. This is a leftover for another piece. So we're going to cut 2 pieces that are 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so let's go to 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. All right. So we need to create a little diagonal piece. So what I said, you could put something on the back to write on the back, but you could also put something on the front in here so that you can write in here. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do right now. So we've got these 2 pieces. So the way to do that, again, is your 1 3/4 inch square or a ruler. And very similar to what we did before, I'm going to take this and just make a 1 3/4 inch mark down from one side and then 1 3/4 from this side. Okay, then we're going to connect from here to here and from here to here. So you're going to go to this side right here. And we're going to cut that. And then from this one, we're going to go to this side and cut that. So this is how it originally looked. Okay, and we were 1 3/4 inches down, and then we cut to the I guess it would be the closest corner besides that one. The closest corner on the diagonal would be this one, not this one. So cut to there, and then the same thing for this one where this mark was cut down to here. So this piece will now fit very nicely right here, and that's going to create a spot for you to write. Now, if you want to do another piece for right here, you can do the exact same thing that I just did. Let's do one more so I can show you. So let's bring this in again. So we're going to do 1 3/4 from the top, and opposite side is 1 3/4 from the bottom. Okay, and so we're going to connect up like this, and this one's going to connect down like that. But we're going to do it right on the corner so it looks good. All right, and that piece is going to get cut off. So pencil mark and corner. It's easier if you go in not at the corner, because if your blade is dull at all, it's going to not do a nice job on that corner. So if you can do it from the pencil mark towards the corner, it's better. So again, pencil mark is there and the corner's here, and then we're going to cut. Okay, So for my thank you cards, I only did one layer. Okay, so this one will fit right here. But if you wanted to do this other one right here, use the same pattern and just flip over your piece. And now you've got two pieces, two areas to write. When you fold this closed, this one's going to come up. You're still going to see this little area. If you want a white area if you want this area to be white, you know, just another layer, you could do just cutting one side of the paper and leave this top side intact so that this area would be shown. But these are cute with the two angles. I was making 50 cards, so I only did one angle. So we're just going to take this and glue it in here. I didn't stamp a message on the inside because I was going to do one on the outside. So this just kind of centers in between all the score lines. There's about 1/8 of an inch around all four sides, so you can kind of see there's going to be just a little bit of a perimeter when it folds in. And the same thing for this one. Just make sure it's check which side to put the glue on, just in case any of them get flipped over. And we'll just slide this into place. Oops. Come here. There we go. Okay, and push that down. So now the last thing we need to do is the belly band. So the way I did the belly band is I want this side to be up, the opposite side. So I'm going to flip this and I'm just going to center it on here. I'm going to fold over one side, and I'm not trying to make a super crisp fold here because it doesn't need that. And then I'm going to bring this other side over, and I'm trying, when I'm doing this, I'm trying not to make it super tight. So I want it loose enough so it's going to slide up and down. So I'm not pulling it so it's tight. I just want it like so there's enough wiggle room. So I kind of see this is going to end here. So I'm just going to take my glue and do this. And then we'll bring this over and we're going to seal the two ends in an overlap. Okay, so you can see it still can slide. So we'll do the same thing with the other one. Make sure the pattern we like to see is down for here. And then we're going to do this one more time. After a while, after you do a lot of cards, it gets a lot easier and faster. And remember, we don't have any waste of the Designer Series paper because we've used up the whole piece. 2 belly bands and 2 folded parts of the card. Okay. And then we're just going to turn this around, and yes, this can move, which is good. So then I used this punch here, the to the point label punch, and I actually ended up with 2 leftover labels from when I was making my whole batch of thank you cards. So I didn't want to punch some more to save on cardstock. So these are pre-punched with this punch and Shy Shamrock cardstock. We have a new punch. This is the 1 7/8 inch circle punch. And we have this new stamp set. It's called Encircled with Love. And it has a lot of different greetings. So if you didn't want to do thank you, you could do happy birthday wishes, way to go, a little something for you, you're on my mind, and with love. So lots of different options. I'm going to keep going on the thank you card theme. I'm going to grab my Shy Shamrock ink pad. Let's make some room here. Got lots of things on my workspace. Let's put things away in my little cubby. Okay, so let's open Shy Shamrock. let's ink this up, and I'm just making sure I've got good coverage before I take this over here, and we're going to stamp this down. Just hold it for a few seconds and then release. Do the same for this one. I am tapping, not smooshing, okay, because this is foam. If your ink pad is too inky, your image, your thank you will get filled in. So if you have a very inky ink pad, you might need to take a paper towel and just pick up some of the ink so that it doesn't get into the crevices, because you want to make sure that you can read the thank you. Also, if you're cleaning the stamp in between colors, I have a chamois that I use. If my chamois is wet and it gets water into the thank you, I'm going to need to make sure it's dry before I go into the next color, that there's no water in the thank and the you, because otherwise it's also going to create an obliteration of the words. Okay, so I am going to punch out these with the 1 7/8 inch circle punch. And yes, you do need different sizes of circle punches. They are so handy, especially if you make, I don't know, if you make almost anything, drawing a perfect circle is near impossible, or cutting it out. So having a punch is like super easy. So let's take these and we're going to glue these. The points are up on those labels. And just gonna center this. This is like the perfect, like this punch layers very nicely together, the to the point. Just a very nice layer. And get those all settled. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to just glue it to the belly band, not to the whole card. So I'm going to eyeball it. You can kind of lay this here. So you want to not go more than, you draw yourself a little rectangle with glue. You don't want it all the way because you don't want the glue to ooze out, and then glue your card shut. And then you just kind of want to find your midpoint, centered from top to bottom, and then you're just going to give that a little press. Okay, so there's that card. And then the same thing with this one. If you're unsure how wide to go, just going to lay it right there, and then just go a little bit inside and draw yourself a little rectangle. And then we're going to adhere this right on to here. So this card may seem hard at first, but if you make a bunch of these, it's totally going to get easier along the way. Thank you so much. If you ordered from me last month, I appreciate your order, and I think I'm going to kind of do this going forward for people who order from me. At least the thank you card. If I do a fancy fold, I will do a project sheet for you. Here are the cards once more. I have not sent them out yet. They're going out in the mail tomorrow, but they're just so pretty. There's another green one upside down, and all the different colors that you can make with these cards. And hey, you don't have to make them exactly the way I did them. These two are the ones that belly bands that I flipped around, because this one had an orange one, which went okay with this one, but the strawberry slush color did not really go okay with this card, because there's no strawberry slush in this card, really. Well, maybe a little bit in the shadowing, but not really. Not really. It is very much a deeper orange. So it looked okay, but I thought I would, switch the belly bands colors on these two, and I think that worked out better. So I hope you enjoyed. all of those cards. And like I said, the supply list is down below in the description of the video. And you can refer back to this video if you're making the card for instructions. If you are a customer of mine, if you're placing an order this month, you didn't place one in May, and you want to get this as a project sheet, and you're placing an order, a $20 or more order with me this month, just reach out. This is going to be called the Mirror Fold card. So just ask for that for your free tutorial. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you've subscribed to my channel, leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and that will help me get seen by more people. This is my small little business, and I appreciate all the help that I can get to get seen by other people. I love to be creative, and every Friday I go live with, usually it's a 3D project, and I put a lot of effort into them. So I hope that you will take a moment and subscribe to my channel. All right, thank you all for being here and for watching this video. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.